fling. It's more than just a flame. It's more than just a fling. I can't help that it is more than just a fling. Now I know that it's the real thing, the real thing. Take your time. I'm on a high, high. My body yearns for you to taste me. No, there's magic in your fingertips. It's magic when we kiss. I can be myself with you. Kiss me now, I insist. Make me yours, just take me now. I'm helpless to resist. Got me so invested in this thing. It's more than just a fling. It's more than just a flame. It's more than just a flame. I can't help that it is more than just a flame. Now I know that it's the real thing, the real thing.
It's probably not what you expect. I realized the first few weeks of our marriage, like literally right as soon as we settled in together, settled into married life, I realized we had made the wrong choice. Because I'd spent so much of our relationship wondering where it was going, because we had this like long impending long distance with no end in sight. I wanted commitment. I wanted to know that there was an end to this and that there was going to be commitment at the end of the road. And that's what I thought that I needed. So that held me through, the engagement, the proposal is what kept me thinking the relationship, it's going to be better when. It's going to be better when we move and we live in the same place. It's going to be better when we're married. And lo and behold, after the wedding, when the dust settled from all the wedding bliss, nothing was better and I wasn't any happier. And that was a huge learning moment for me, because that's when I really realized that whole, you can't control other people, you can't change other people, you can't force someone to be the person that you need them to be. And I guess for a long time I thought I had accomplished that, because I had convinced him to marry me and I had convinced him to put an end to the long distance. But yeah, as soon as the dust settled, I realized that the ring, the proposal, the marriage, the wedding, none of that changed anything. We
King, who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me for these 18 to 24 months, and I promise you I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm
Why?
reluctant. I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I might can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
I think.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential and she will invest in him.
Married when women leave so easily?
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. And most times, because in society, they make you feel like you need to get married and start a family, they choose the person that they like the most. Maybe even they love the most in that moment. But marriage is not something that should be based inside of, I like this person enough.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Bella's Corner, where the truth is delivered with love. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And ladies, always remember to keep it classy and never trashy. I'm Femininity Coach Bella. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hi, everyone. Please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Please put a 1 in the chat if Sorry, you guys. I literally just accidentally exited out the stage. So my apologies. It's like every time, when you don't live stream for a minute, it's almost like you don't know how to work what you got going on. So now I have to re-add everything. But I'm so happy to see everyone here. Hello, UFO. Hello, Mona. Hello, Cine. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. It's so good to see you. So we've got a good one today. And we are going to discuss, as the title suggests, what it means to be a wife. And so we've got a few clips that we are going to go through that I drew inspiration for this conversation from. And so without wasting too much additional time, let's go ahead and get into the conversation. So first, we are going to, so I've got the shut up ring clip, and I've also got one clip with Dr. Umar, one of our favorites, right? I've got one clip that I just showed you guys at the beginning, as well as I want to discuss some answers or responses to what Dr. Umar said that I saw that was on Anton Daniels's channel. He has midnight or late night conversations where him and his panel, they discuss multiple things. And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I thought the answers that the ladies gave, or a couple of the ladies gave, was quite interesting. So I want us to discuss that as well. So this is going to be, I think, a show that's a little bit longer than usual, but I missed you guys. And again, I wanted to talk about this in particular, and I wanted to present a few different points of views before we get to the main topic, which again is what it means to be a wife. So here is the first clip of this lady. And it is, again, I titled it The Shut Up Ring.
And it's probably not what you expect. I realized the first few weeks of our marriage, like literally right as soon as we settled in together, settled into married life, I realized we had made the wrong choice. Because I'd spent so much of our relationship wondering where it was going, because we had this like long impending long distance with no end in sight. I wanted commitment. I wanted to know that there was an end to this and that there was going to be commitment at the end of the road. And that's what I thought that I needed. So that held me through, the engagement, the proposal is what kept me thinking the relationship, it's going to be better when. It's going to be better when we move and we live in the same place. It's going to be better when we're married. And lo and behold, after the wedding, when the dust settled from all the wedding bliss, nothing was better.
So she said a lot. Of course, as women, we know we paint the story to favor us the most, and we tend to lack accountability, self-reflection, and self-awareness. So, of course, we are going to get into some of the things that she says. So one of the main things that I heard from her is she idolized marriage. It wasn't necessarily about him. It wasn't about the man, but again, it was about what she wanted. Oh, he was hot. Oh, I loved him. Oh, he had the means. Oh, he could buy me this big ring. Oh, he could provide me this lifestyle. And I wanted to ensure that I locked him down, within this relationship and within a marriage to basically bring security to my low self-esteem, to my feeling like maybe I'm not pretty enough, or to help me be able to brag online, oh, I've got the ring, oh, I've got the lavish wedding, and this man who can provide a certain, again, lifestyle for me. I idolized the wedding, as what many women do, and I'm one of those women who always wanted a husband, right? I remember even in my grandma told me stories, my mother and father would tell me stories. I said, even at a young age, when I get my husband, my grandma always called me old ever since I was a little girl. So I it's always been a desire for me to get married and to be a wife and to have a family. But ladies, we have to be careful not to, again, idolize marriage. We need to, for one, be connected to the Most High Lord Jesus Christ, okay? And when you are connected to your source, you don't idolize feeble things that pass away, people and possessions, rings, status, and fame. You should fear the one who could destroy your soul, right? Not fearing things, not, again, idolizing things. And that's what I think a lot of women do in society, and even in this day and age. And I think that's even the case with her. Again, she idolized marriage and the wedding. And she said, and I thought, once we walked down the aisle, once we got closer in distance, once we were actually together in the same house, things would get better. But ladies, you have to be careful with that thought process, because at the end of the day, yes, distance does matter. My husband and I, we were in a long distance relationship when we first started courting and seeing each other. But there was never a doubt in my mind about, when we get closer or when we get married or when we reach this point in our relationship, that things would get better. Yes, your relationship evolves. People evolve. You become stronger in your communication and in your friendship and in the foundation of your relationship. But it shouldn't be to the point where you're literally questioning the entire relationship up until the wedding. Like what? It's giving your relationship started off unstable and it was still standing on 3 legs, a table with 3 legs, and it's supposed to have 4. And she somehow convinced herself, which is what women do. We create fantasies in our mind. Well, again, once we reach this point, it'll get better. Ladies, we cannot do that. We need to ensure for one, that we're secure within ourselves as well as secure within our relationship. If this man is not providing you the emotional connection that you feel like you need or that you think you need, have conversations. Get some intimacy cards. Ask him, hey, is there something that I need to do in order for you to open up to me more? Maybe if you feel like he's emotionally unavailable, right? Premarital counseling. But it should never be, once we get married, this will get better. Because if you're having those ideologies and those ideas, or once we have a child, that probably isn't so. Let's keep going.
And I wasn't any happier. And that was a huge learning moment for me, because that's when I really realized that whole, you can't control other people. You can't change other people. You can't force someone to be the person that you need them to be.
And that is 100% true as well. You cannot, ladies, if you watched my last upload, I talked about how a woman was broken up with from her situationship of 3 years. And I have said over here in the past, back when I had only like 2,000 subs, and I stand on this principle and this idea is, you cannot change a man's mind. You cannot change a man's mind. You cannot force him. You cannot force him or mold him to be the man that you want him to be. And honestly, that is not your job. And that's the difference between building a man and building with a man. But we're going to get to that. You cannot build a man, ladies. That is not your lane. A man has to go through his own individual journey as a man, navigating throughout the world and through his masculinity and through his career and through his personal life experiences in order to blossom into the type of man who's admirable, who's going to be a good man and all those good things. But you can cause him to make changes within himself, but you cannot force him. And we're going to get into that a little bit more later. But you can have a hand in it, but it isn't like, hey, this is how you should be, so I want you to change into that way now. Like it doesn't work like that. That's his choice, not your choice. So she said she realized she couldn't turn him into the man that she wanted him to be. And I wonder what type of man that was, what type of man that is. Or was she maybe thinking about some past man who she truly wanted to marry, but he didn't want her. He didn't want to marry her. That's certainly possible as well. But she said she realized she got a shut up ring. And once she got the shut up ring, and once she got the shut up proposal and the shut up wedding and the shut up marriage, she realized it was a mistake. Ladies, the best way to learn in life is to learn from other people's experiences, not your own. Let's see what else she has to say.
And I guess for a long time, I thought I had accomplished that because I had convinced him to marry me and I had convinced him to put an end to the long distance. But yeah, as soon as the dust settled, I realized that the ring, the proposal, the marriage, the wedding, none of that changed anything. We still had all the exact same problems that we had before. It took about 2 years for us to kind of live with it and for our marriage to fall apart. And towards the end, trying to salvage it, that's when I feel like all the shut up moves started happening. When I was saying, I'm really unhappy. I'm thinking about maybe potentially getting a divorce. Let's maybe separate for a while and get some time apart. And that's when, I needed to tell me I'm pretty. That happened for about a week. I needed to buy me flowers. It probably happened once or twice. Or I needed to go to therapy. We talked about it, but it never actually ended up happening. Then towards the end, I was just so exhausted with everything. I was so exhausted that, I wasn't really as convinced by the shut up moves as I had been previously. And that's when I started really paying attention to his actions. I didn't care that I got flowers one time. I needed to see if it was going to become a regular thing, or I needed to see if I was being complimented or being showed affection or being told that I was loved. And I just realized it was done a few times and then it just got completely forgotten about because things were better. When I realized those things were never actually going to stick and they were never actually going to stay around, that's when I decided that I was done. Anyways, I'm Monica. I share my mistakes in life and love so you don't have to make the same ones. Okay.
I heard a lot of I, me, what I wanted, what he didn't give, what I wanted, what he gave a little bit, but then he pulled back. But what did you do for him? What work did you put in order to ensure that it wasn't you? What did you do for him? How was your attitude and your disposition throughout these moments within your what's supposed to be honeymoon period? I heard a lot of, again, and it seems like everything the marriage was supposed to revolve around her as probably what the entire relationship was. And so she realized she was unhappy. She realized she wasn't getting the treatment that she wanted. But again, what about the type of wife that you were supposed to be? The type of wife that you vowed to be, or that he wanted or expected from you, right? As I said over here before, ladies, it's about your perspective. If you shift your perspective, that is when you'll be able to see a different avenue of approach that you can hop on in order to increase the satisfaction within your relationship. I had moments in my marriage and in my relationship with my husband where I was selfish, where I had selfish moments, where I had stubborn moments, and I had to kind of, combat those moments within my heart and within my mind to say, hey, snap out of it. It isn't all about you. Okay, he may not be doing this in the same exact way that you would prefer, but what is he doing? What effort is he showing? And hey, what are you doing? Why are you nitpicking about him not doing this one thing, but he's doing all of these things over here? If you shift your perspective to what he is doing and you show gratification, or if you give him that gratification, if you show appreciation for the things that he's doing, and then you can also say, hey, I really would appreciate if you, would get to this over here. I appreciate everything you're doing, honey. I appreciate everything that you're doing, baby. But I would love if we would start to shift our focus to this right here, because it's bothering me. And so when you show up more appreciative, when you show up and give that man some more respect and show that you appreciate what he is doing, he will get to the other things that he may not have gotten to, whether it be emotionally, physically, around the house, or whatever you need. Most of the time, a good man, and of course, this is in the frame of reference, ladies, that this is a good man who we're talking about, right? This is the man who wants marriage, who wants children, who wants to lead, who is a leader. He's a good man, a man of, character. He's a man of value, if you will, right? He wants to provide to his wife everything that she wants and needs. But he also deserves respect. He also deserves appreciation from you as his wife. It sounds like she was doing a whole lot of gimme, 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 gimme. But what was she giving? Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I know I got a couple of donations here, so let me go ahead and acknowledge you. Hello, Almond Eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Shout out to you. Thank you for your $2 donation.
Give me $1, man. King, give me $1, man. Come on, man, for somebody.
She says, hey, Bella, hope all is well with you and the family. Yes, all is well. I am, still housing baby number 3 up in here. He is getting big and I'm getting slow. And pretty much I'm in the final stretch. So I'm trying to get content out to you guys as much as possible before he makes his arrival, because who knows how long I'll be down after that. So, but yes, all is well. And I hope all is well with you as well. And Theo Coop of the Do Better podcast stopped through. Thank you so much for coming through, sir. And he says, Bella. If you've watched Theo, you know he's got a deep voice. So I just hear his voice in my head. Hey, Theo, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for your donation. And thank you for being a channel member. Shout out to you. And hello, Miss Beth Shua. Thank you so much for your $5 donation to the platform. I greatly appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I cannot see it. Let me see if I can look at it over here. Hey, a waving lemon. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, I appreciate your donations. Let me see who else I've got here. My eye says, why didn't she have these conversations prior to marriage? Exactly. She wants to go to marriage counseling during the marriage when she pointed out the red or the yellow flags prior to, and she realized they were having issues. You can do counseling over the phone. It doesn't have to be in person. But again, I think she was just so eager to get the marriage, to get the wedding and to get the ring and to get the marriage, that she was just so focused on the material rather than having a healthy foundation within her relationship with her soon to be husband. And you all excuse me, I'm recovering from a little cold. Remember last week I told y'all the babies had a little cold? Well, the babies passed it on to mommy and daddy. So I'm in recovery. So excuse me if I'm, I don't know, just sounding weird or anything like that. Hi, Ray. Good to see you. Hi, Dre. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being a channel member. He says, I know you're about to spit truth that actually helps build stronger families. I'm trying over here, Dre. I am trying. And I think it definitely, of course, it's, it starts with the man. It starts with the man who, with what woman that he chooses. But at the end of the day, ladies, as I've said over here time and time again, we are the barometer for the home, for the relationship. And I saw it even within myself in my marriage. Once I shifted my perspective, once my demeanor and my disposition even became more sweeter and I was more self-aware, the entire marriage shifted. It really did. And that isn't to say my husband didn't do work or didn't need to do some work and that he and I didn't have conversations and things of that nature. Of course. But instead of trying to mold or bend your husband into who you want him to be and, causing rifts or arguments because he isn't who you quote want him to be or need him to be or whatever, change yourself. Be the change that you want to see in the world. You be the change that you want to see in your house. And then things will change over time. And I saw that firsthand within my marriage. And so I certainly encourage that over here. Ray says, if everyone waits at the finish line, then winners have the pick of the litter. And we know y'all just here for the trophy. Okay. He's speaking to some stuff we're going to chat about later. Stefan says he isn't buying that story at all. So he's saying she's skipping out on some parts, on some details. Hi, Travis. Hi, CNA. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, we are going to get to the next thing. Okay, I'm going to stop at this really quick. Thank you so much for your donation, CNA. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to you.
Give me $1, man. King, give me $1, man. Come on, man, for somebody.
She says, I always appreciate your wisdom. You are glowing. Thank you. And God is good. I'm just trying to help. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help. That's all. I'm just trying to help give the ladies the knowledge that I've learned so far within my relationship so they can be even further along than I was. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. That's the goal. Okay, so let's move on. So I have a clip. So we're going to do 2 clips. So we're going to watch the first one from Anton's channel. And then we're going to watch the continuation of this particular topic after that, before we get to the responses of what the other women were saying. And again, we're going to get into that because I just thought the answers were quite telling, to say the least. Okay. So here we go.
If you met a man who made half of what you made, or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of an entrepreneurial undertaking.
See, I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous.
Let me finish it, and then I want you to respond. And he needed you to help invest in his dream. And he gave you a definitive timeline. He said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you, what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in him?
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this dream. He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it? You're reluctant.
I am reluctant because what's the guarantee?
There is no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And also, I think context matters. How long have we been together? If it's just a guy that I met last year.
What are your thoughts so far, ladies and gentlemen? What are your thoughts so far?
All of a sudden, he has these dreams. And
Look, y'all been dating for about 2 years. You like him. There might even be some love there. And he's saying
there might be some love there. Is crazy. There has to be some love there. There has to be a future there. And I think that's what I'm saying. Context matters. If I see myself with this man,
answer the question. Let's say all those things are there. Will you financially invest in him?
So, will you financially invest in him? So we're going to keep watching this video, but I want you all to finish, or to see the rest rather, of Dr. Umar's commentary or question. So literally directly following that part of the clip, this is what he continues to say.
Who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me for these 18 to 24 months, and I promise you I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
I think.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me.
See, here's my one thing. As I mentioned, a man So a man who's on his purpose, right? You want a man, ladies, who's on his purpose, who has a plan forward. So if it's a matter of, oh, so I can, become the man that you want me to be, for me, that part right there doesn't quite sit right in my spirit. However, a man who says I want to get to a certain place of finances, financial stability. I want to be at a certain point of financial stability to support you or to provide in the way that I desire as a man who wants to be the provider. That sounds a little bit better. But for me to become the man, you want me to be, I don't know about that one, because it kind of sounds like, in a way, that he's saying, I want you to build me up. And that's not where any woman, that's not a place that any woman should be. A woman can't build a man. A mother can't make a boy a man. A wife can't make a boy a man. But let's continue on with the clip. And then I'm going to give my commentary, particularly on what he's asking. And then we're going to continue on to see what the reactions are from the ladies on Anton's panel.
A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential, and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire. And the sisters say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to, stay with me. Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line. And by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny done snatched him already.
I disagree.
Is this thing on? I heard no lies. Now, when it comes to Dr. Umar's question, are you willing to give your man a certain amount of money, $200, $400, $500, $700 in this case, per month, assuming you can afford it? Would you do that to help fund his business? My answer is yes. Assuming that we're in a place in our relationship where I trust him, I see that he's financially savvy, he's obviously responsible. He's not a man child, right? If you're in a relationship with a man, obviously you should have seen these things. If you see that this man is irresponsible and he just like, ain't had no job. You two met and he didn't have a job. You two met and you didn't see that he had ambition and that he was working on things, or you know what I'm saying? Then that would be a man who one would be reluctant to invest in. But that's the man you chose. So if you chose this man, that's something on you, sis. But if you're with a man who has a job or who is in a particular career field and he wants to level up in whatever the sense is, he wants to go on his own financial, journey. He wants to become an entrepreneur. He wants to open up his own company of whatever his expertise or a vocation may be in, or whatever, get some type of higher education or whatever it is, right? If you see that he is currently in a stable position in his life and he wants to increase, but he needs assistance financially from you, why wouldn't you? As women, we want him to pay our bills. We want him to get our hair done, our nails done, put gas in our car. As women, we want him to invest all of these things, plus time, plus emotion, into us, but you're not willing to reciprocate financially to him when you're working as well, when you have money coming in as well. There's a difference between a man with potential and a man who has purpose and who's on his purpose. The problem is women who disagree, or women who say, "Oh, I've been burned when I've done that in the past," or women have done that, or I've had friends or family who have done that, and the man left as soon as he got successful. That means she did not pick the right man. She got so caught up in building the man instead of building with the man. My husband and I, we have more places to go, but I did not build that man. He came to me fully built. But he had more to do. He had goals and, again, purpose and aspiration. And I have been here to help facilitate his growth, to help facilitate his level up. But he already had the ambition and the goals and the expertise to get there. Ladies are too busy picking men, again, with the potential, who don't have two nickels to scrape together or a pot to pee in. And they're falling in love with him. And he's asking her to help fund his business. But there was something wrong with his character to begin with. The red flags were there to begin with, but she ignored them. And so, yes, when he did increase, when he did come up, when he did level up, he left her because she turned into his mother. So I think as women, we have horrible picking skills many times. But we're too busy blaming the man. The man is so bad and the man's character is just so awful when, again, we're the ones who stayed with him. We're the ones who picked him. We're the ones who invested in someone and with our time and our money or whatever, body. We were in a place where we shouldn't have been to begin with. And I think that's a lot of women's problem. Ray says, women, there you go. Women expect men to invest in them. They ask men for expensive gifts and money for their bills and entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me, sis. Modern women are trash. Traditional women are treasures. Bathsheba says, plenty of people have invested monetarily in Umar, but hasn't received no return on investment. You could say that again, ma'am. Interesting that this is coming out of his mouth. Well, see, I wasn't going to go here, but we know he's out here scouting for some more pennies, for some more quint. We know how Dr. Umar does. An articulate man who knows how to get some money about you if you're not smart. The NBA players were telling their story of Barbara and Becky asking them what they need and taking care of them before they made pro. The answers are already there, exactly. But as Dr. Umar said, Black women, we want a finished product already. And that's been our biggest downfall because, oh, if he isn't already a millionaire, if he isn't already making $200, $300, $400,000 a year, then if I'm there scraping at the bottom with him or helping him build, that's struggle love. That's struggle love. And I think that's very ignorant to say, because many times people don't appreciate what they have unless they've worked for it, until they've worked for it. Now, this is what comes to mind. A woman who works out, who eats right, who gets enough sleep, who drinks enough water. She's perfected her workout plan to build what she wants to build and to shrink what she wants to shrink on her body. And that happens over time. That happens with dedication and consistency in the gym and within her lifestyle overall, holistically, mind, body, and spirit, versus the woman who goes to get the BBL. All she has to do is go get a few $1,000s, go find a doctor, a surgeon who can perform this particular procedure, go there, lay on the table, anesthesia, get things snipped and tucked, and she wakes up and heals, and she has an entire new body. One is earned, one is worked for, one is more appreciated, and the other one is bought. The other one is fake. That's the difference that comes to mind for me between a woman who appreciates the come up and who was there during a man's come up versus a woman who specifically looks for a man who's already solidified and highly successful. I'm not saying that if she's a good woman and she obviously happens to come across a man who's already, leveled up per se. But I think women in particular, it's best for us to be in a man's life to be in a man's life while he's building up, because we'll appreciate him and his hustle and the lifestyle that he's now providing us more. I think that personally, especially in today's culture, microwave culture, gimme now culture, quick gratification culture. Being there during a man's come up will help a woman have some humble pie rather than walking around entitled. And I think in today's society, especially with social media and different TV shows, it creates an entitled woman. If he's not buying this for me, or if he's not doing this for me, then he doesn't deserve me. Even though my femininity isn't worth but $5 or 5 cents, I deserve a man who makes $500,000 or more because I'm pretty, because I have a vagina, because I think I have the best kitty cat that a man can get, because I'm just simply in his presence. I'm worth that. What am I bringing to the table? Me, myself, my attitude, and nothing else. How dare he ask me for anything else? How dare he expect me to put in work for the relationship? That's the BBL woman who didn't earn the body, who didn't earn the look. She's laid down on the table and woke up with a new body that other women have built When you work out and get your body in a way that you like it, again, it changes you, not only outwardly, but inwardly. Now you're more aware of what you're consuming. Now you're more aware of getting more sleep. You don't eat certain carbs anymore. You don't eat certain proteins anymore. You're eating more of the good stuff now, because you know that you have to do the work from within first, and it manifests outwardly. The BBL women, they're so focused on the facade, they're so focused on the outside, on the exterior, that it turns out that is the only thing they have to offer. And that's what I think society creates with all of this level up content, sprinkle, all of that. If he's not doing this for you, then he doesn't deserve you. Rhetoric that's constantly being pushed out and being consumed in masses. I think that's what's causing, I'm not gonna build no man up, but it's really, they don't want to build with him. I think it's honestly sad. But so when women say things like that tells me that they're not wife material. They can't be trusted. They just want to sit on their behind and rub their feet together and spend the man's money. You say you want to be a wife, but you don't even know what it actually takes to be one. Hi, Celine. Thanks for joining me. Hi, TZ Frank. Hi, Danny. Good to see you. Cooking with Kaya. Cooking with Kaya. Yes, I have. I may do a quick commentary on it. The women are mad. The women are mad about Kaya, y'all. Cooking with Kaya. Cooking with Kaya. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to what the ladies said on Anton's panel. Let me see. Okay. Here we go.
The question is, Molly already shaking her head. All right, Molly, I'm coming to you first then. Well, no, I'm not coming to Molly because she already shaking her head. I know where I'm gonna go with this. The question is, should women invest in a man's future / dreams? I'm gonna go with Quill because Quill was quiet in the last segment. Quill, should a woman invest in a man's future and dreams?
If she wants loyalty, when you make it, yeah. If not, then I think that if a man got a vision and a plan and he's on ground zero, if you have the means to invest in him, you should, because once he make it, it's a wrap. He ain't gonna be no coming back to get you. Ain't gonna spend in the block. He might play with you, but he ain't gonna be there to actually marry you or do anything like that. So yeah, I think a woman should invest in the right man though, because I'll be picking some of the craziest things to invest in.
What's the right?
He said invest in the right man, because some of the women, they pick the worst of men to invest in. Then be coming out swinging, coming out mad, saying men aren't sugar honey iced tea. So exactly what Quill said. You have to choose the right man to invest in. I think that is the first stop, or maybe even the second stop, where women go wrong.
All right, man, Quill, give me some context.
Character, number one. You gotta see, check his friends out, people who has influence on him, and maybe his family structure. But a lot of these girls be investing in chicks dudes that be just on their mom's couch in the basement, not doing that all day. And they're like, I see potential in them. Potential means you haven't done anything yet. So I just don't understand when women say they see potential in dudes who don't even have a job. Like, where's the potential? So yeah, investing in the right dude can pay dividends. Like, it can be like you can literally have no worries once you make it. And a lot of women ain't willing to do that. I just call it speech. So
facts.
Why don't you think a lot of women are willing to do that, Quill?
Because they failed at it, investing in the wrong man.
There you go.
Wait, hold on, Quill. Why is all of the ladies looking like they about to blow a gasket on here?
They probably
Gary going crazy. Arm down there going crazy.
See, that's who I want to hear from. The one who said dusty.
I just have resting bitch face.
Hold on, wait. We're gonna get there. We're gonna man this out. And I'm gonna tell y'all. So I had watched this, And it was interesting to me, but I was told that I was wrong. So I was willing to learn. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pose this as a question on Monday night because I'm curious. And Quill is very much in the same boat as the rest of the guys that was kind of telling me different than what I thought. So I'm going to go to Molly first. Molly, what's going on? Tell me what your thoughts are.
It's just dusty. I've kind of heard Dr. Umar say some dusty stuff like that before. But my thing is, okay, so we're not married and we've been together about 2 to 3 years. I'm good enough for you to ask for money, but I'm not good enough to be a wife. But I'm good enough to finance your operation for another year or two, and you're not my husband, and I have to wait until maybe your business might make it, and then you'll take me with you. But as we see from history, most men, they get things off of the back of a woman, and then they'll leave her for another woman. So I don't understand. And then why do you need a woman to be half of the man for you? So if I'm out here making an extra $700 a month to fund your dusty business that may or may not work, who's the man if I have to be the man? Or who's the woman if I have to be the man for you?
So helping fund a business makes one a man? Making money makes one a man? Going to a job day to day makes one a man? Receiving money makes one a woman? That's some interesting math right there. Because she said, I have to be half of the man. So who's the woman if I'm the one who's helping fund your business? Since when helping your man financially make you the man? Like it doesn't quite make sense to me. Now, I get it, preferring to being married to him prior to you funding his business. I understand, because women want security. We want to feel like we're, in there. We're secure within the relationship before doing this. But for all you know, that's in his plan, but you're still under his vetting process. And the thing is, you're still there. You're there. You're still spending time with him. You're still giving up yourself and intimacy. I mean, if you're here, why not assist? And what kind of conversations are you two having when it comes to the future that the two of you have together? And how degrading is it for you to be with a man who you claim you like, who you love, a man who you constantly spend time with, who you're intimate with? You're calling his business little. You're calling him dusty because he is asking for your assistance, and invest with him toward the future. How emasculating. How disrespectful. I was really surprised by Molly having this answer, because I've watched a few other clips on Anton's channel with her in it, and I agree with her. But this right here definitely caught me off guard. I certainly didn't expect it. But let's keep going.
Wait, Molly, why is this business dusty?
Why gotta be dusty?
It's dusty because you're not asking a grown man for a business loan. You're asking a woman. I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm so sorry. Anton, your followers are going to be so mad at me because Dr. Umar was the one person to speak on this, because I don't think all black men are weak, but the ones he's talking to in that particular clip, he's talking to the weak beta males who always needed their mom, always needed a woman to do something for them because they're not a man. They can't do it themselves. You're not a husband. You can't be a husband. You can't come up with your own money to fund your own business. What can you do? What are you there for? As a woman, why would I be taking all of my options of other men off the table to fund your dusty business that you obviously won't even be able to be successful in because you need to do it for you? And I'm not like. And then Dr. Umar also tried to sit there and pin women against women, make it about race, trying to make black women compete with white women for black men, dusty black men at that. Dr. Umar, boo. You should be so ashamed of yourself, Dr. Umar. I'm sorry.
Well,
For me personally, I have never felt like I was in competition with no white woman, for no black man. Maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I'm just saying. I have never, ever felt like I had to compete with a white woman for a black man. Let me just say that. Although black men are marrying non-black women at a higher rate as of recently, black men are still married to 80% black women. So for her to say, oh, and Dr. Umar's trying to pin women against women, black women against white women. What? How did you derive that conclusion from that? But you know what? Her true colors came out. This right here is a chameleon. This right here is a hyena. Respectfully. I'm going to take who am I to take all of my options of men off of the table to fund your dusty little business? Well, baby, you're here. You're over there. You're sitting up on him, up under him, and all that, all about him. Why not? But as Quill said earlier, women invest in the wrong men. Unless over on this channel I specify that I'm talking about a man who's no good or who isn't worth anything, I'm only talking about good men. I'm only talking about a man who has purpose and goals and ambition, who has drive and who actually is going somewhere. But everyone needs a little help. Everyone needs a little pick-me-up. Why can't you or won't you, or why aren't you willing to do that? But again, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, he's dusty. I'm gonna fund his little business. Like, that's crazy to me.
Oh, I see you was responding to that. Well, can you give us some more?
You should be so ashamed of yourself, Dr. Umar. I'm sorry.
Well, I see you was responding to that. Well, can you give us some more insight, sir, or what your thoughts are?
Why is business plan got to be dusty? He can literally have a legit business plan.
Because you're not a husband. You're just dating for 2 years, and then you need me for another year or two to fund your dusty operation.
Okay, so now what happens when
I'll cheat and get, you're gonna be the man if I gotta be the man.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I forgot to pull it back up. Hold on, let me go back.
You should be so ashamed of yourself, Dr. Umar. I'm sorry.
Well, I see you was responding to that. Well, can you give us some more insight, sir, or what your thoughts are?
Why is business plan got to be dusty? He can literally have a legit business plan.
Because you're not a husband. You're just dating for 2 years, and then you need me for another year or two to fund your dusty operation.
Okay, so now what happens when
I'll cheat and get, you're gonna be the man if I gotta be the man. I'm gonna have me a little side thing, and you do what you gotta do. I'm not giving you no sex. You get busted out by him. And I'll still play house with you. Treat you like a little child. Because that's what you are, because you need a grown woman to be the man for you. Because you ain't got no homeboys, no mentors, no uncles, no grandfather, nothing else.
No class, no couth, no loyalty. A lack of respect. So now I'm going to have my thing on the side. I'm going to have a little side piece. I'm going to go cheat. Since I got to be a man and fund your business, I'm going to go cheat and have myself a side piece. Since I got to be the man for you and treat you like a little boy. Since I'm funding your business, I get to act like a man. This is not the way feminine women think or speak. And I've said over here before, not every woman who is married is a wife. Not every woman who is married is feminine. Not every female who manages to get a man to marry her truly embodies the essence of what it means to be a feminine woman and wife. And she is one. Again, I was very surprised by her response. And y'all just burning so much in your little drawers that the first thing that comes out of your mouth or the second thing that comes out of your mouth is, oh, I'm going to get me a side piece and he's going to be busting me down while you're, trying to build your little dusty business because I'm funding it. That's what you've deduced manhood to? How silly. Hi, Black Savage.
Men don't understand how dusty they are until a woman kind of puts it in perspective. I'm this little old woman, and I have to break my back to come up with almost $1,000 a month for you. Just go get a white girl, then. Just go take the easy way.
You say anything about breaking your back?
I'm just saying. No, because
and go get a white girl. Just take the easy way, because white girls are easier to deal with. Unbelievable.
the question needs to be, Dr. Umar, he should have switched it. He should have said, Black men, would you be willing to fund your woman's business for a year or two?
No.
And then when her business is up and popping, would you be okay? You know, she could take you to the top because because if you don't do it, there's going to be a white man that's going to be sitting there funding her business and taking all the good stuff that comes with it when you could get the same thing. Like, Dr. Umar should have flipped it, because why is it okay for a Black woman to do it? I'm just going to go find a white man then.
Quill, well, hold on, y'all. Hold on. We don't get there. Quill, what are your thoughts on this?
I think Molly's tripping, man.
Of course he do. Of course.
A lot of these women be delusional, bro. I don't know where you think all this money come from in the Black community.
Why you say you don't have money?
That's excuse.
We make the least amount of money in America. The Black woman makes $35,000 on average. The Black man makes about $45,000, $50,000. Where y'all think all this money coming from? To be doing it. So if y'all want to be, if y'all want us to marry y'all, but y'all don't want to be in it together, we trying to build together. So it's a big contradiction.
Why can't you be married before you have your hand out?
Yeah, you need to be married before.
I'm just answering the question, but 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna want to marry a man who don't have nothing. So let's just keep it a buck on that stage. If he ain't got nothing, he's trying to build.
Priorities.
Hold on, wait, because I'm coming to everybody on this. We're gonna take our time. Elizabeth, what's going on?
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm not gonna front for camera. Go ahead and give me the red nose. I'm a fool. I'm just ready for someone to wipe me up, because I most certainly am going to invest in a man's dreams, and I'm gonna be there for him. I'll ride for him. I am a sucker for love, and I'm doing the best I can to, I don't know. But I think that I agree more with what Quill's saying, because just of my pattern of behavior. But I wish I was more like Molly, because she does have a ring, so she must be doing something right. So I'm taking.
That's a white dude.
What does that have to do with anything? Married?
Elizabeth, no, baby. No. You don't take advice from every married woman. Just because she has a ring, just because she can say, I'm a wife, that doesn't mean she has good edification and wisdom to give you. Absolutely not. Just like every person who's older than you doesn't always have good advice to give you, or aren't ignorant, or are ignorant rather. That doesn't mean, again, you take advice from just any married person. She's saying Elizabeth is saying, yeah, I would. I would help fund my man's business. Yes, I would help give him money every month, whether it or not it be $700. I'll give him something every month to help fund his business, as long as I see that he's going somewhere with it. But I wish I had a mindset like Molly. Well, those are two contradictory mindsets, because she came out of the gate being disrespectful. Two black men and then saying, I'll go get me a white man. As if white men are the pinnacle of God's creation. As if white men have all the money and all the riches, every single one. There are dusty white men too, baby. And I'm going to say this, and we're going to keep watching it because I do want to get to my main thing. Black women who think like this, they will forego a good black man who is leveling up in his life. But he just isn't quite where where he wants to be, or where he needs to be. She will forego that man for the dustiest white man. For the white man who, who maybe makes the same amount of her as her, requires more out of her. She has to pay a bill or two. She has to break her back with him and on the job in order for them to have the lifestyle that they want. But he's a white man, though. That's just silly. And to talk about your men like this, to talk about black men like this, when this is the same type of women who scream from the mountaintops, black men need to protect black women. But you, as a black woman, speaks about and think of black men in such a degrading and disrespectful manner. How embarrassing. These are the same black women who say, I never hear white men speak about their women so horribly as black men do. I don't hear white men speaking down on their women, Indian men, Latinos. I don't hear any other demographic of men speaking ill on a public stage about their women as black men speak about their women, but then things like this come out of her mouth. And as I said, he could still be vetting you in that moment in your life, in your relationship, rather. You accepting or denying, assisting him in his business ventures financially will tell him if you're truly there for him and, for his purpose and for his vision or not. But if insults come out of your mouth, if you're all of a sudden calling him dusty and calling his business little or degrading him in any sense or form or fashion, that tells him that you're not wife material. And that you're only going to see him and always are going to see him as your son. You're going to be the woman who says, I'm the one who built him up. I built you. I made you who you are. I made you a man. I made you. I made who you became, who you are. Don't you forget it, Negro. Men in general, but black men in particular, don't just leave a woman haphazardly when he's been treated well, when he's been taken care of by his woman. If she was there in the gutter with him, if she was there in the valley with him, now that he's on the mountaintop, on the mountaintop, he's going to ensure that she has everything she wants and needs and that she's satisfied within the marriage and within the relationship. He's not just going to get up and leave her because now he has money. Not a good man. Not a man worth having. Because a man of value was a good man even if he had $2 in his pocket. But he will leave you if you were degrading him and disrespecting him on his way up the mountain. If you were throwing rocks at the back of his head on the way up the mountain. If you were talking about how slow he was moving and and disrespecting and degrading his processes of how to get up the mountain, he'll leave you. If you were nagging him on your way up the mountain, he will leave you. But he's not just going to leave you once he levels up. He's not just going to leave you once he's made it. Because as Quill said earlier in the clip, at this point, he's going to feel like he owes you his loyalty. He's going to appreciate you. What she's saying doesn't make sense. But that's the mindset of a street possum. That's the mindset of a woman who's only with a man for what he has to offer. And then on top of that, she's sprinkled. And y'all know I really don't talk about the whole like white, black thing over here, but this right here got up under my skin. Then she's sprinkling the whole white male worship on top of it. Well, if I got to do all that, I'm going to go get me a white man. What? I'm sorry. This may just be me, but I'm going to say this. For me, I ain't never want no white man. Never been interested in no white man. There's been white men interested in me, but I've been like, not my cup of tea, baby. As if they're the pinnacle of God's creation. Like, that's just a different form of self-hate to me. That's just a different form of wanting to feel like that you're more than who you are simply by who you manage to pull, particularly according to his skin tone, his ethnicity. I think that's just so silly. Bathsheba says, it's ironic that our investors believe that white men wouldn't talk to the white woman disrespectfully. The treatment the white woman has received from the white man is the reason why their feminist movements were created. Crazy, precisely. Feminism was created by the white woman and for the white woman. But black women say trying to be all up in white women business. They ain't got nothing to do with me because black women love saying, oh, since when have black men protected black women, yada, yada. Black men weren't even able to protect themselves when our families were separated in slavery. Black men weren't even able to protect themselves from getting lynched. But we have to remember that the white men who lynched black men had women who created their KKK hoods for them. We have to remember that the white men who lynched our black men, who took their lives, who mutilated their bodies and things of that nature, there were white women who made sure they had their lunch and their dinner packed before they went to go terrorize Black families, Black men. We have to forget. That's forgotten. But now Black women by their mouths have had a personal hand in the lynching and the tearing down of the Black man and the Black family. I'm gonna go get me a white man then if I gotta fund my man business. Oh, that's so dusty. I'm gonna fund his little dusty business. So disrespectful and disgusting. All women who have rings are not wives. Let's keep on going, y'all, because I'm gonna get through this clip and then we're gonna get to the main thing.
And she don't gotta work.
I mean,
do you see your logic, Quill, though? Of course, I'm gonna pick somebody who's a provider over somebody who needs.
I mean,
do you see your logic, Quill, though? Of course, I'm gonna.
She's married to a white dude, ain't she?
Did you guys say that?
What does that have to do with anything?
Quill said she's married to a white man, isn't she?
Period.
I'm just
And
saying,
she don't gotta work.
I mean,
do you see your logic, Quill, though?
I'm married to a Black man. I don't have to work. Just saying.
Of course, I'm gonna pick somebody who's a provider over somebody who needs me to be their provider. This is why we have to reestablish gender roles and men knowing their role and women knowing their role and men not thinking she's gonna have my back, even though she's my girlfriend.
I mean,
But to top it off, I do feel like Black men should have a chance to compete with other races just as well as white women don't have these conversations. Spanish women don't have these conversations. When their man comes to them and asks for money or support, willingly, gladly. So I'm behind my man. I'm behind my culture to big up them. So that's just my standpoint. I don't want to be crucified for it, but that's how I feel.
Hispanic women don't talk about it because our men tend to be more traditional. That's why they want to be providers. But I will say that we
honestly, her response surprised me as well. I'm sorry, but Anton, he got a few chameleons up on that panel. I'm sorry. Because her answer surprised me as well. She's talking about, oh, Hispanic men, they tend to be more traditional. Black men are traditional as well. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. And she act like we don't see those Hispanic women working with their men. She be having on them construction outfits just like them. The boots, jeans, the construction vest, head cover. She be pushing them lawnmowers too. Girl, stop. She works with her man too. She manages her man too. Manages the business with her husband as well. Girl, stop.
we all know I'm Hispanic too. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about from my point of view. Hispanic people tend to be more traditional. But from what I know, the logic of what the reality is, women are born with our value. Men have to create their value. And the most valuable thing that a woman can give to a man is our time and our womb. So again, if you with someone 2 years and they still have not put a ring, when the average man knows in 6 months if he wants to marry you or not, if he has not put a ring on your finger, then why are you investing money into this man? Now,
if you met a man,
who
made half a way.
Sorry, you guys. I was trying to stop it to say this. Hold on. I didn't mean to go back. I stopped it to say this. She said when the man knows within 6 months if he's going to marry you or not. See, here's the thing. Ladies, that's the man's choice. You cannot force a man to marry you. That's up to him. So she's saying, when a man, within 2 years and a man knows, yes, a man does know rather quickly if he wants to marry you, but you are still going through, if he hasn't married you, that means he hasn't seen enough quite yet to solidify that ring, to go there with you. He may have known at 6 months, but you still have to prove yourself because he holds the key to the access of marriage. Let's not forget that. I don't think it's prudent, especially in this day and age. I don't think it's prudent for a man to marry a woman within a year. I'm sorry. She has to be a special type of woman with certain type of value. And today, men, they just want to be sure. Because women can switch up so quickly sometimes. Or she can play the long game and she can draw out who she really is. She can draw who she really is for 2 years. So he wants it. That yellow flag, he wants it to turn green, but he's not quite there yet. And so maybe a question like this, hey baby, can you help me fund my business venture, is the icing on the cake to determine if you truly are who he's looking for in a wife or not. Your reaction and your response will tell him this. You just never know a man's process, but you cannot force a man to marry you.
Women are born with our value. Men have to create their value. And the most valuable thing that a woman can give to a man is our time and our womb. So again, if you with someone 2 years and they still have not put a ring, when the average man knows in 6 months if he wants to marry you or not, if he has not put a ring on your finger, then why are you investing money into this man? Now it'd be different if y'all married and y'all fall on hard times and you gotta work your butt off a little bit more to help and balance things out. That's different than this is just my boyfriend and I'm gonna give him money because he said he loves me. When women are tested, when women's loyalty is tested when a man has nothing, and a man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. And I'm not gonna make this investment into a man if I don't already have, he don't have some kind of investment in me, aka being his wife.
Okay, let me go ahead and say this real quick. So y'all are all making beautiful points, and I love what Molly said there. The dusty business, et cetera. But let's just be real. We know that there is a sister that we are friends with right now that is supporting a dusty ass person right now, and they're doing just fine. And what I can say is, he did mention if that man has good character, if he has all of that, y'all in love, you got good character, et cetera, it's going somewhere. There's potential. Would you support that man or not? I highly believe that our sisters definitely need to start adopting, supporting their man, especially if they're with him. If you've been with him that long already, regardless if you're married or not married, something in you is making you stay with them.
Thank you, Kamaya.
Man, so if you are already in the pathway of creating this life with this person, why not help the plan, help the vision, regardless if that is there or not? Because you weren't thinking of marriage when you got past a year. You wasn't thinking of marriage when you got past 2 years. So we're not talking about the ones that are like, as soon as I go into this relationship, yeah, we're dating, okay, marriage. We're not talking about those situations. We're talking about the ones that's already in the situation. You've already been laying it down, busting it wide open for a man, and being given.
You're there. That's what I'm saying, y'all.
Him, et cetera, et cetera. You're investing in this man anyway. So what is the problem with the money and putting it towards a vision? I'm trying to understand that.
Because I think black women just overvalue money. That's just my opinion. They overvalue money, and they think that money makes them more valuable. So I said, no, just loyalty, exclusivity. Men will pay for exclusivity. So,
Wait, hold on, let me a second. Give me a second. That kind of goes against your original point.
How so?
Because you're saying that men don't care about money. Then
All right. That's all we're gonna watch from that, because I'm ready to move on to the main thing. Shout out to you, Game Changer, for your donation. Thank you so much for your $2.
Give me $1, man. King, give me $1, man. Come on, man, for somebody.
Feedback. I don't know what you mean by that, Game Changer, but I appreciate your your donation. Okay, so here is the main thing that we are going to chat about, which is what it means to be a wife. So I'm going to pull up this clip. Okay, the video had feedback. Well, I hope you guys could hear it clearly. Hope you guys could hear it clearly. Sorry about that. I didn't realize they had some feedback on there. Hopefully you could hear it clearly. I didn't realize that it had feedback, so my apologies again. But okay. Let's go to this video.
Most women are so...
Hold on, let me back it up. Discussion. Woman was asked, why should a man get married when women leave so easily? So let's see what she has to say to that.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily?
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. And most times, because in society, they make you feel like you need to get married and start a family, They choose the person that they like the most. Maybe even they love the most in that moment. But marriage is not something that should be based inside of, I like this person enough. They were persistent enough. They were romantic enough. Marriage, to make it in the long haul, has to be rooted in something real, like God, purpose, and alignment, similar core values. And so if you don't have that, a man really doesn't want to get married, but if he does get married and it's not rooted in the right things, she will leave. So a woman is leaving if she's doing wrong partner choice. And if the man is doing wrong partner choice, if we're doing wrong partner choice, then you shouldn't want to get married.
Right.
But you should absolutely want to get married if you are aligned with someone rooted in God, rooted in your purpose, and submitted to the mission of alignment for your life, in my personal opinion.
What do you think? So I'm going to go through this again because I did want to touch on a few points that she made. And then we're going to get to the things that I wanted to pull out from this particular conversation and what it means to be a wife that the ladies could particularly hone in on in order to prepare for marriage or in order to, just show up as a better girlfriend, fiance, and wife. Okay.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily?
So, of course, leave so easily. Of course, we're talking about divorce because most of the time women are the ones who divorce. We all know the statistic on that, about 80% of women file for divorce. So that's the point of women leave so easily. Women can file no fault divorce. So, just irreconcilable differences for whatever reason. Who comes to mind is like Tia, and I know y'all, I said I was going to get back to Tia, but I have just been like, the Tia situation, it's a lot. You attest a lot to unpack. And it's just like, girl, she's crying. Tia cries every 2 seconds. But based on Tia's behavior and the things that she has said in her show, you can tell that she just left due to her emotions. As I said in one of my previous videos, it's like she entered menopause and it's just like, it was just so much for her to deal with. She decided to get a divorce and now she's crying. Now she regrets divorcing Corey. And it was for no reason. There was no concrete reason as to why. He wasn't hitting on her. He wasn't treating the children poorly in any sense. He didn't abandon her. And he wasn't cheating. Those are reasons, like literally, as to why a woman, in my opinion, would obviously be justified to divorce. But again, I think Tia I just want to explore the new, get on some new. And now she's lost, hurt, broken, and turned out. So that's what I think she means by, quote, leaving so easily, because men, they'll stick it out. They'll stick it out for sure.
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife.
What did the first lady say? The white lady, the first video that we discussed, I said she was so caught up in the wedding, in the ring, and being able to say, I'm a wife, I'm a fiance. She was too busy in wanting a wedding, but not the marriage. Absolutely.
So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. And most times, because in society, they make you feel like you need to get married and start a family, they choose the person that they like the most. Maybe even they love the most in that moment. But marriage is not something that should be based inside of, I like this person enough. They were persistent enough. They were romantic enough. Marriage, to make it in the long haul, has to be rooted in something real, like God, purpose, and alignment.
She makes valid points. Now, so far I'm agreeing with everything, minus society makes you feel like you have to get married and have children. In Western society, not so much. Not so much. However, I do think due to a woman's nature, what was literally like spiritually instilled within us, we have an innate desire to especially become mothers. Ebony K, who also ended up coming out and saying, hey, if I were to go back or if I were to give young women advice, I would say, as you're getting your BS, your BA, your MS, get your MRS degree as well. Don't front load your career until you get to a certain point in your life, because you're going to end up like me, 40, and now, and I unmarried, and now I have to go to a sperm bank because I still desire to be a mother. And although I wanted to marry, I've had the potential to marry, I've been engaged, no man actually wanted to marry me. And now my time has ran out. Don't be like me. So I think women, we have the innate desire within us to become wives and within us to become mothers. But in this climate, particularly in the Western world, I don't necessarily think society per se is pressuring us, but it's, again, an innate desire, as well as the culture or the family that you come from as well. Because, we know family, sometimes friends can say, so when are you going to have kids? So when are you going to get married? But I think on a larger scale, I don't think women are, in particular, are being pressured, to have families, especially with feminism taking over. But that's just my opinion on that. But I think she's cooking.
Similar core values. And so if you don't have that, a man really doesn't want to get married, but if he does get married and it's not rooted in the right things, she will leave. So a woman is leaving if she's doing wrong partner choice. And if the man is doing wrong partner choice, if we're doing wrong partner choice, then you shouldn't want to get married.
Right.
But you should absolutely want to get married if you are aligned with someone rooted in God, rooted in your purpose, and submitted to the mission of alignment for your life.
Rooted in God, rooted in your person, in your purpose, and rooted in submitting to that person and aligning in your values. I agree.
My personal opinion.
So yeah. So back to what she said at the beginning.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily?
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role.
And that's what I want to discuss. Women don't know what it means to be a wife, and when they become a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. But it isn't just about the cooking or the cleaning or the child rearing per se. But I want to discuss or come at this subject and this topic from the perspective of women didn't realize what it required from her from within. Again, not necessarily only the traditional domestic duties. So I have a list of about 5 things, and this is a non-exhaustive list, of course, and I've got a couple wives in the chat, so of course feel free to provide your opinion in addition to this list. But being a wife, what it means to be a wife is the first word that comes to mind, and I know most or all of you have heard this word, is being the helpmate or being the helpmeet, right? And a helpmate is a helpful companion, companion, especially one's husband, or in this case, wife, right? A helpmate is one who is a companion and a helper, according to Merriam Dictionary. especially a wife. A helpful companion, someone who is a companion and a helper. What is a helper? A person who assists or who puts in effort toward the goal, whether it be financially to include $500, $200, $300, $50 toward his business, but also by way of her attitude and how she shows up in the relationship. So being a helpmate is not limited to bringing her femininity, but also being a helpmate could refer to, again, providing a form of financial assistance. Or maybe even if it isn't necessarily financially, if you two are living together, if you're married, she can assist financially, not necessarily by giving money, but helping reduce in the amount of spending per month, per week. Miss Bathsheba, she's in the chat. She has a garden. So she is saving her husband, her household money on having to go to the grocery store to purchase certain things because she has a garden that she can pick from. So now they can reallocate that money toward saving, toward retirement, or toward another form of food that they could stock up on, right? Okay, well, you're saving us $200 a month on groceries. So we can put this in a savings toward like a trip, like TJ said. I can put this money into investments. Baby, here's this extra money and I want you to save it up and then go buy yourself something. Because although you're not necessarily contributing financially, you're contributing financially. Because again, you're helping reduce our expenses. That's what a helpmate does. But here's a list of the 5 things that I think the ladies should consider when it comes to what it means to being a wife. Because again, it isn't just about your domestic skills, but about who you are. And the things that you can do and provide from within, outwardly, to your husband, to your man, even to your children. 1, inspiration, being an inspiration. 2, protecting. And we're going to dig into it. 3, support. 4, nurturing. And 5, humility. 1, inspiration. 2, protection. 3, support. 4, nurturing. And 5, humility. What does it mean to be a wife? Being a wife means to help by way of inspiring him. So I mentioned that we were going to revisit a point where the first woman, where she was saying she got the shut up ring. And she said she realized she essentially, in so many words, can't force a man to be, or a person, you can't force a man or a person to be who you want them to be. I was alluding to, no, you cannot force a man to be a man. You cannot force a man to level up. You cannot force a man to be who you want him to be, but you certainly can inspire him. You certainly can help him achieve his goals by, again, the way you show up. Inspiring him maybe, as I've said this before in the past, inspiring him could be, hey, he wants to do this, and he wants to change his career path or something like that. You can send him the application. That's support as well as inspiration. because now you have provided him some type of tangible that he can look at. Please like the video. Please like the video. Please like the video. Some type of something that's tangible that he can look at, where he can now quantify what the things that he needs to do in order to reach this next level. Now we want to, and we're going to talk about this further, but there's a difference between sending him the application and doing the application for him. You want to nurture him, not mother him. You can send the application, but don't do the application for him. You can inspire him to be a better man. You can inspire him to lose some weight by hitting the gym, your own self. You can inspire him by eating healthier, to eat healthier by eating healthier. You can inspire him to read more of his word by reading your word. But it's how you're showing up. You see, ladies, it's about shifting your perspective, as we said earlier. It's not about, oh, he's not doing this. I wish he would do more of that. But how about you show up doing that? How about you shift your perspective to what you're doing and to what you're doing and what you're not doing? And he'll notice it. And he'll see the change in you. And he'll see what you've added to your routine, and you'll inspire him to do so as well. Protection. Now, of course, my man is my protection. Your man is your protection. But I'm referring to in the way that you conduct yourself. How you conduct yourself outside of the home, as well as with people outside of the relationship. Are you protecting your relationship? If you are receiving DMs from men, are you replying? What does your social media feed look like? Are you half naked online? Are you looking like or showing up like you're single online, or going to a grocery store looking indecent? That is one way, or those are ways that that you can think about in terms of if you're protecting your relationship or not. As well as with people outside of your relationship, outside of your personal relationship. So as in within the two of you. Are you venting to your friends and your family about what he's doing and what he's not doing? Are you keeping people out of your relationship? Or are you inviting negative energy and thoughts and whatnot into your relationship? And opinions from people that shouldn't even be there, who shouldn't even know what's going on in your relationship. That's not you protecting what you have. Number 3, support. Do you see him? Do you see his potential? Do you see him for who he is? Are you consciously making an effort to understand him and how he thinks and how he communicates? Oh, let me go back to protect really quick. You want to make sure you're not a liability as well, because your lack of protection, your lack of discretion, causes you to be or to show up as a liability, and you don't want to be that. So back to support. Do you see him? Do you see him for who he is? Do you appreciate him for the masculinity that he has and for the man who he is? A good man is not a perfect man, but he is a man who constantly strives to be good and to be better day by day, as a man individually, and as your significant other, and as a father, as a friend, as a son, as a cousin. he strives toward his purpose? And do you support him? Are his interests your interests, ladies? Do you support him in that way? Please like the video. Are your values his values? Are his values your values? Do you align in that way? The woman in the video, she said marriages or in relationships, marriages don't last just by, oh, I like him, he's cute. But they should be rooted in God. They should be rooted in purpose. They should be rooted in value. Are your interests his interests? Because are your values his values? Because you will respect his purpose. You will respect his vision. You will support his vision if the two of you align in your values. Number 4, nurture. Nurture him, do not mother him. So I mentioned you can send him the application, but don't fill it out for him unless he asks you to. Unless he's like, I'm just so busy, can you fill it out for me? And then I'll finish it. Nurture him with respect, with the respect you show up with. A man needs respect, ladies. You show how much you love him and how much you care for him and are dedicated to him by showing him respect, by showing him concern, by displaying that he is your priority. And how you speak to him and through your actions. And many of these feed into each other: inspiration, protection, supporting, nurturing him, and being humble. These lead and feed into one another. So one point could go up under here, the next point could go up under another. But let's just talk this out a little bit. We're almost done, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Are you nurturing him through your language? And again, how you show up through your actions? Do you show love and compassion and care, affection? And again, what's most important is, are you respecting him? You're not doing this to him. You're not degrading him. We have to be more conscious in how we're showing up in our relationships, ladies. And even nurturing his seed. Not, yes, his children, if you two have children together, because they are his legacy. Yes, you're his wife, you're his woman, but these babies are his seed. They are from him. But also his seed as in his vision, his ideas. Are you nurturing his ideas? If he says, hey, baby, I've got an idea or I have a thought, let me just, bounce it off of you. Can you be his soundboard? Or are you chopping down his ideas with an axe? Nurture his seed as well. And lastly, you need to be humble. So that means, ladies, you're going to have to get rid of your pride. In my video where I said a happy woman finally speaking up or something like that, I discussed this as well. And I think that's a really good video for you ladies to check out as well. Happy woman finally speaking out. I did it, I think, about a month or two ago. But I talked about the girl ego. Ladies, we have to be humble. When you're humble, ladies, it helps you to be quiet. It helps you to be quiet. Shout out to you, Always Black. Good to see you. It helps you be quiet. It helps you have more compassion. And it helps you not to be the victim all the time. It reduces the amount of arguments that the two of you have when you're humble. Because again, you're getting rid of your pride. You're crushing your pride. So that means you're willing to adjust to his authority, aka submit. You're willing to submit to him when you're humble. You're willing to submit to his leadership, his structure, his order, his expectations, and his requirements when you humble yourself, ladies. And in your submission, you're able to take his critiques. I'm saying it again. You're willing to take his critiques. And hey, I don't like the way you cooked that. Hey, I don't like the way you spoke to me. I don't like your tone there. I felt disrespected. You disrespected me when you did this. You're willing to take his critiques, but also in this, and you submitting to him. Hear me, ladies. You ask him for help. So I know those two things are kind of opposite, not necessarily opposite, but they're kind of like on different sides of the spectrum. But you're willing to take his critiques, and this is under you being submissive. You're willing to take his critiques, and you also are willing to ask him for his help. Again, this is all under being humble. This is all under crushing your pride. Nope, I can do it myself. Nope, I can figure it out. Nope, I don't need your help. But when you submit under a good man, up under his order, up under his system, not only are you willing to take his critiques, because he's going to only critique you and give you pointers to work on that's going to help improve you as a woman, help your femininity, in the relationship, as well as so you don't get up under his skin. He isn't going to ask you to do anything that's going to hinder you as an individual, or that's going to hurt you in your life. But again, also you're willing to ask him for help. Allow him to be the problem solver in your life. That's what he's there for. And he loves you and he cares for you. So he wants to help you. He wants to solve your problems. Even if it's something small. Sometimes like I'm the type of woman who I try to figure it out first before I ask for his help. And sometimes I'll kind of pout and be like, oh, or, I'll be a little sad and he'll be like, what's wrong? What happened? Let me see. Let me do it. Girl, if you don't let that man be a man, let him help you. Submit to his problem solving. My hero. Oh my gosh, thank you. You made my life so much easier, baby. Thank you. Be the damsel, girl. Come on now. And you're going to see him, you're going to look at him like, that was a little sexy. Come on, ladies. Yes. Yes, definitely. Although not often my husband had to correct me before, it makes me sad that I fell below his expectations and worked to make sure that infraction doesn't happen again. Precisely. Precisely. I can't stand when I make my husband upset. I can't stand that I, quote, fall below his expectations because I love him, because I respect him, because I've submitted to his system and his order. And if he critiques me, that means I didn't quite do it right. And I'm just like, oh no, I made a mistake. But guess what? That doesn't mean that you've got points off your merit. That you started with 1,000 wifey points and now you got 99 and a half wifey points. It's not that serious. But absolutely. But those are words coming from a good woman and a good wife who wants to please her husband. Absolutely. And Bria said, absolutely, be the damsel. Be the damsel, girl. The damsel gets swept up off her feet, baby. The damsel gets taken care of, baby. In every way. Girl, be the damsel. I'm serious, y'all. Oh, I'm just so tired. What do you need from me? How can I help you? Well, you know what I was thinking. And you could just throw it out there, girl. He will take care of you. Because you have that respect for him. You've supported him. You've nurtured him. You're not a liability. You're not out here in these streets embarrassing him. You inspire him day after day to be a better man, to be a better husband, to show up better because you're showing up the best woman, the best wife that you can be, and he can see that. You're humble. And lastly, under being humble, you are patient with yourself and with him. You are patient with yourself as well as with him. See, here's the thing, ladies. With all of these things, in terms of what it means to be a wife, and again, this list is not exhaustive. I said inspire him, protect the relationship, be protective, be supportive, be nurturing, and be humble. All of those things require you to do what? Do self-reflection, to be self-aware, to do the proper introspective work day after day after day. As she said, right here, let me pull her back up real quick.
Why should a man get married when women leave so easily?
This is what I think. Most women are so bought into the vision of marriage that they never really consider what it means to be a wife. So then when they get into marriage and now they are a wife, they hate the role because they don't know what it is.
They hate, and now that they're there, they hate the role because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it requires. They don't know that they have to actually put in the work to have a healthy relationship, a healthy and stable marriage. They don't know that it requires them to be humble. They don't know that it requires them to be supportive and nurturing, to be inspirational, to be respectful, to be humble. They don't know that it requires them to crush on a consistent basis their pride, to get rid of their pride and their ego. And when they get it, they hate it. Beth Shue says, More importantly, being a wife requires selflessness, precisely. Too many women are selfish. Marriage is not solely about the woman or the man. Each party puts the other's needs above their own. 100%. Thank you. Absolutely. Keep throwing out what it means to be a wife in the chat. It requires selflessness. Because as I said earlier, when you shift your perspective from what he's not doing, what I'm not getting for him, and you shift it to, well, how can I show up? What can I do for him? How can I be a better wife? You'll get more satisfaction out of what you've got going on. That'll cause you to start doing some self-reflection and to pay attention to what you're doing within the relationship. And then those efforts will be reflected back to you from your man. Because again, we're talking about a good man here. But as Miss Bathsheba says, it requires selflessness, 100%. 100%. Because you're serving. And when you serve, you cannot think about yourself, but you think about the needs of those whom you are serving. That doesn't mean that you're neglecting yourself. But again, it requires selflessness. Bria says it requires you to embody the law of kindness from the scripture, meaning you'll watch your mouth and your actions. Yeah, and you'll watch. I thought I was reading it wrong at first. Meaning you'll watch your mouth and your actions are always filtered by the Holy Spirit. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was texting one of my girlfriends recently, and she just had a baby. She just had her second, and so she's got 2 under 2 now. And she's like, "Girl, how did you manage?" Now, I was telling her when she was pregnant, I said, "Girl, get as much rest as you can because it's some serious business having 2 under 2 and all this." And so she's like, "Ooh, girl, you weren't playing. How did you manage?" And I basically said, just asking the Lord to help me with my patience and getting rest. Telling my husband when I need a break. Like a break from all y'all up in here. All y'all. Especially now that I'm pregnant. It's exhausting running around behind 2 toddlers. Every day, all day. And I figured being a mother comes with that, right? But you really don't know till you're in the fire, right? But I've been aware to say, hey, I'm feeling tired. Hey, I need to take a breath. Ooh, I need to pray. Ooh, I need to step back. Oh, I need to work on my patience even more when it comes to this particular thing. Because toddlers call you, mommy, 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 a billion times per day. As soon as you lay down, they want to lay up on top of you. And you're just like, dude, I'm overstimulated right now. But your baby loves you. So it's a constant point of exercising your patience when you're dealing with toddlers. Now, of course, I'm not comparing my man or, being married to a man to, having toddlers. But my point is, relationship requires patience. Relationship requires self-reflection. Relationship requires selflessness. And even as Bria said, kindness. But you constantly have to work it out. It's a muscle, ladies. And so when she says, well, women, they weren't taught to be wives, but they want to be wives. And so when they end up being a wife, being in the situation, they end up hating it because they never knew what it actually entailed. So this is just a list that I came back, or that I put together for you guys. Okay, we're almost done. The aim of our lives is to be all that the Most High wants us to be. For our lives to be pleasing to Him, everything, including marriages, should be done to the esteem of the Most High. Yep. Breathe your air, eat your snacks, even when they have little ones bursting into the exactly. Can't even use the bathroom by myself. Okay, I'm trying to use it, and I've got 2 cute little toddlers watching me. Hi, mama. Hi. What you doing? Using the bathroom, child. So, and this is one other pointer that I wanted to mention to the ladies. It will not always be perfect or easy. And so the question is, how will you be able to deal with it? How will you deal with it? Because being a wife and being married to a good man doesn't mean that it's going to, again, be easy or be perfect. But it's how you show up. And it's the fact that you continue to choose him day after day. You choose him. You choose the marriage. You have to choose to be humble, ladies. You have to choose to be inspirational and supportive and be humble and be nurturing. You have to choose that every single day. But when you're not taught that being married requires selflessness and self-reflection on a consistent basis, whether it be small or great, the muscle gets fatigued. It gets overburdened. It gets stretched. It gets stressed. And that's why the women hate being married, because they didn't know what being a wife was like. Because no one told them about the inner work that they were going to have to undergo in order to get rooted in who she is as an individual and as a wife. Because marriage is 2 people deciding to come together as one flesh. When you're sewing something together to make a garment, it has to be stitched. A needle has to go in and out, in and out, in and out. It doesn't just automatically become this one unit. It has to be stitched. It has to be woven. And ladies, we have the ability to do this work, to be the stitch and to be the needle and to be the thread when we bring our best selves. When we decide day after day to choose this man, to choose being humble, to choose softness and kindness and not violence every day. We have to make the conscious decision to do so in order for us to become one, in order for the foundation of the relationship to be strong. And many women aren't taught that. But ladies, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to compromise. Because it's happy house, happy spouse. Happy house, happy spouse. But you have to make the decision to become whole within yourself, to be satisfied with yourself. Because there is no one in the world who can make you happy with yourself. Not even your husband. He can certainly help. But my satisfaction within my relationship and within myself comes from within. Comes from my confidence. Comes from my relationship with Jesus. It doesn't come from how much that man validates me every day. And although he does, he makes me feel very wanted and very loved and beautiful and appreciated. But that wouldn't be enough if I wasn't rooted in all of those things within myself first. Okay? So ladies, again, what it means to be a wife. Again, this is a non-exhaustive list. It's to be a helpmate. It's to be a person, a wife, who is a companion, who helps, who is a companion, who is a helper. A wife inspires. A wife protects her relationship from the outside as well as from the inside. In her conduct and how she shows up, she's not a liability. She's supportive. She sees him. She understands him. His interests are her interests. She's nurturing, but she doesn't mother him. She's nurturing, but she does not mother him. She respects him. And she displays that through her actions and through how she speaks with him and deals with him. She nurtures his ideas as well as his children, his legacy. She's also humble, meaning she crushes her pride. She crushes her ego. And she's willing to adjust to his authority, aka submit to him. Therefore, she's willing to accept his critiques, accept his constructive criticism, and she also doesn't mind being the damsel, asking for help, allowing him to solve her problems. That's submission. And she's also patient with him and herself. And then a couple of the wives in the chat, she's selfless and she's kind. From her spirit, this is not an act, but this is within. But you can only be that when you consistently work these muscles, ladies. And always remember that it's not always going to be perfect or easy. But it's about how you show up, and it's about how you choose him in that relationship every day. It requires sacrifice and compromise. Are you willing to put in the work? But that's all I got, you guys. Woo! This is the longest live stream I've done in a minute. It's time for me to go to bed. I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you so much for joining me and for sticking with me through the conversation. Thank you so much for all of your feedback. And I enjoyed this. You guys may see me again in a day or two. We'll see how I feel. But again, I appreciate all of you for being here. Hi, Gail. I'm happy you caught live too, Sine. But again, that's all I have for you. The truth has been signed, sealed, and delivered by yours truly. If you like the content you see, then please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And if you know of any women who you think would benefit from this conversation and from this discussion, then please share. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
But your life does not. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bruh. We gonna keep this? Nigga. I can't even reach it, bro. This is...
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I'm not engaging in this conversation with you anymore, thank you.
The door.